Hello, I'm on Hoover Street in West Adams, and this unassuming building right behind me is actually a really important one historically. So this is Casa de Rosas, or House of the Roses, and you wouldn't know it now, but it used to be covered in roses and vines, hence the name. This was the first major commissioned work for Sumner Hunt, a vitally important architect in Los Angeles who also designed the Southwest Museum and the Automobile Club of California building just a few blocks away from here. And many also credit him with the Bradbury Building. Sumner Hunt designed this in the 1890s, and it was completed in 1893. He did it in the Mission Revival style, which would become extremely popular in the 1920s. But back in the 1890s, it wasn't really a thing. So he was very ahead of his time, but it also tells you how interested he was in Hispanicism, or infusing the aesthetics and the culture of our Mexican and Spanish colonial forebears into Southern California art and architecture. It was really early for a Mission Revival style, and a lot of the hallmarks that you know from it, like the red tile, for example, on the roof, Sumner Hunt didn't add those. You can see there's sort of shingles up at the top, and that's basically what it looked like. But you can see these arches, and also there are a lot of interior courtyards, which is something that you'd find in missions as well, but was not common at all for residential buildings. That was just taken straight from the mission architecture playbook. Originally, when this was built, it was the headquarters for the Froebel Institute. And Mr. Froebel was a German pedagogue who invented the concept of kindergarten. Now, he didn't own this building, it was just inspired by him. And for the first decade or so of its existence, Casa de Rosas was used to teach young women to teach kindergarten. And it was so successful that the Froebel-style kindergarten curriculum was incorporated into LA public schools. And ironically, because of its success, the originator of it, Casa de Rosas, the Froebel Institute here, had to shut down. Nobody wanted to pay for a private kindergarten if now you could get it for free. So after the Froebel Institute shut down, it became a finishing school for girls. In World War II, it was a barracks for soldiers. It was L. Ron Hubbard's offices in 1950 to 51, around the time he published Dianetics. And then in the early 50s was the next important phase of the Casa de Rosas, when a woman named Essie Binkley West came in. She was known as the Angel of Skid Row. She was a very religious woman, used to play organ, I believe, for Amy Semple McPherson and her Angelus Temple. But she wanted to lift up wayward women out of poverty, and she brought them here, started what's called the Sunshine Mission in 1951, and was doing just that. And it operated like that for a couple decades until it closed down. There were several arsons here that destroyed parts of the building, and by the 80s it wasn't in such good shape. So in 2016, there's a construction crew who was working on the area, and they accidentally demolished one of the buildings, or almost demolished one of the buildings. Since then, it's gotten a makeover, something like $18 million infused into the renovation of this building. And right now, it is being used as low-income housing for unhoused veterans and their families. So it's had a nice through line there throughout its history of helping people that really need it. Thanks for doing LA with me.